What's going on, my North County fam? It's your girl Kelly, and I am here to give you the rundown on what happened in St. Louis County government last week, and let's get into it. So, first, yes, the ARPA Work Group continues. Now, the work group has its first set of ARPA spending recommendations ready to give to the county council, and I can't tell you, this has been a long time coming, y'all, and that's the understatement. So, what are the recommendations? So, here they go. So, first, Councilman Fitch. So he had like 2 or 3 requests for the police department. So, his requests would be combined into one single bill. And the ask is a total of $23.8 million for a new Central County precinct, property control facility, and regional intelligence information center. The $23.8 million is what's needed from St. Louis County to get matching funds from the state of Missouri. And then the other recommendations included the following. So Councilwoman Days's request for $10,000 towards community distribution of Narcan. Councilwoman Webb's request for $11 million to demolish problem properties in unincorporated St. Louis County. Councilwoman Clancy's request for $1.6 million to support the arts and culture through the RAC, also known as the Regional Arts Commission, and Councilwoman Dunaway's request for $1.2 million to support the efforts of Kids Smart. Now, the work group, they are taking a pause on a couple of the spending requests. So specifically, I'm talking about the request to support the health department's software, some type of an upgrade or what have you, and room at the end, supporting room at the end, which I spoke about last week. And the work group, they're taking a pause because they're waiting on some additional information they need to make their final decision about these spending requests. Now, it's important to note that pretty much all of the items that the work group is in support of are pieces of legislation that are waiting final passage. So yeah, if you look at the meeting agendas, them joints, they are on the final passage order of business on the county council's meeting agenda. So the work group agreed that they would advise the county council to hold off on finally passing any of those bills until all, and I mean all, of the spending requests have been properly assessed by the work group. So yes, y'all, to be continued. And then the next thing you need to know as far as what happened in St. Louis County government last week. So Councilman Trakas' bill was revisited that could change the county council's process when considering change of zoning requests. Now, I talked about this a couple of weeks ago, I believe it was. And after some discussion during the full county council meeting, when the bill was perfected, it was agreed that a committee of the whole meeting would be scheduled to discuss Trakas' bill in more detail. So that meeting, it was held last week, y'all. So check out how the meeting started.
Bill 255 is authored by Councilwoman Trakas. Councilwoman Trakas, you have the floor.
I didn't ask for this meeting, Madam Chair. I've got nothing to say. You have questions, I'm here to answer them.
I apologize. I thought you did request the committee of the whole. Who did that? Do you recall?
Councilman Fitch.
And he is not here, and as I understand, he will not be attending this meeting. I believe his schedule has changed.
Damn. Okay. And then Councilman Harder asked Trakas his questions, to get the conversation started, to kick things off.
I guess I just want some more information. Was there something that triggered this, that brought this together? Was there a case or a hearing that showed that we have a deficiency somehow in this ordinance?
For the 60 years, no, I'm sorry. It just seems like 60 years. For the 6 years I've been here, I have seen repeatedly moneyed developers spend untoward sums on attorney's fees to undo actions of the zoning commission, actions and decisions of the planning department, and the resulting actions and decisions of this council on zoning matters. How? By using the courts to claim that somehow the process was not fair. Most recently, this letter regarding PC 2122 Robert Dieselkamp. Ad nauseum, he goes on about how his clients' due process rights were violated because we didn't have a proper procedure. Certain things were taken into consideration that shouldn't be. Other things weren't taken into consideration. And I frankly, as you can tell by my demeanor, have had it. I'm tired of wealthy people spending whatever it takes to undo what this council, the supposed voice of the people, has decided. This bill cures that once and for all. It simply creates a process by which rules of evidence apply, testimony is taken under oath, documents, once their foundation is established, are entered into evidence, and this council ultimately will issue findings of fact and conclusions of law, which a court will then defer to, instead of listening to arguments from moneyed developers, lawyers, about how there's really no evidence to support the council's decision, and therefore we should reverse it and give my wealthy client what he wants so he can continue to abuse unincorporated St. Louis County. So I clearly have had enough. Does that answer your question?
That's fine. I just asked a question, that's all.
I mean, damn, bro. He was just asking a question. Jeez. So the meeting continued from there with more discussion about the bill. And, you know, I got to keep it a buck with y'all. Your girl zoned out a little bit because they started talking about the logistics of sworn testimony during a committee meeting and having a court clerk and chain of evidence and wah. So I did zone out. But ultimately, Councilman Trakas decided to hold off on final passage of his bill during the full county council meeting because the bill was up for final passage. And he held it as he plans to make some changes as a result of the discussion with his colleagues. Look at that, y'all. That's God. That's God. And I'm rounding it out with the legislative corner. So there were some bills passed during last week's county council meeting, but I wanted to highlight a couple that were passed supporting families and our babies. So the first bill passed during last week's county council meeting accepts a building blocks home visiting grant of up to $269,900 to support the health department's nurse family partnership. So with this program, staff visit prenatal and postnatal moms in their homes, and they visit with these women until the child reaches like 2 years of age. So there are 3 goals of the program. So the first, improve pregnancy outcomes by helping women engage in good prenatal health practices. 2, improved child health and development outcomes by helping primary caregivers provide care for their children. And 3, improved economic self-sufficiency, y'all, by helping primary caregivers develop a vision for their and their family's future. And then the second bill that was passed during last week's county council meeting was a bill executing an agreement where St. Louis County will participate in the Environmental Child Care Sanitation Inspections Program. So this program ensures that child care facilities are safe, that they're sanitary, and in compliance with state regulations by providing annual inspections. And the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services will reimburse St. Louis County for expenses related to them carrying out this program. So that's all I have for y'all this week. Please stay safe out there, and you will see me soon. Peace.